All right, welcome back, everyone. There's a way to spot poison ivy based on the number of leaves, but if you're too late, there's a method to heal from that pesky itch. Winston Reed and Dr. John Long show us how to prevent annoying rashes and anxiety in this week's Next to Nature.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about poison ivy, how to spot it, and how to protect yourself. This is Next to Nature. Dr. Long, how do you know you've come across poison ivy?
Well, it's very proper to identify it first. Poison ivy is very prolific. You can see it's out here in this shaded area, and it's also in the sun as well. But proper identification is important. There's a lot of plants that look like poison ivy, and a lot of people get them confused. Poison ivy has, there's a saying, it says, leaves of three, let it be. Poison ivy has leaves of three, and I'll show that in a minute. Poison oak, which is different, and I think some people use poison ivy and poison oak is the same thing, but they're not. Poison oak has a different leaf structure. Poison oak has a rounded tip to the end of the leaf, whereas poison ivy has a pointed one. It's very pointy.
So for poison ivy, you said it's not the plant that's poisonous, but the oil that it creates.
That is correct. There's an oil called urshio that is produced by the plant, and it's basically a self-defense mechanism for the plant. It can affect you within a few hours. You'll start seeing a rash, and it can last up to quite a long time. In fact, if it's on your clothes and you don't wash them, it could stay on there. Any contact you have with it, you could develop a rash.
What do you do once you're infected by poison ivy?
Really, the only thing you can do is get an anti-itch formula like Benadryl. Depending on the severity of it, a lot of people may have one reaction to it where other people may not. So there's different ranges of sensitivity. So really, depending on the amount of infection will really determine what you use to put on it. But Benadryl anti-itch cream will work because you really don't want to, you want to avoid scratching it, because with an open wound like that, you could introduce other, elements, bacteria and infection.
Where is poison ivy most prevalent? Where will you find it at the most?
Well, you can find it just about anywhere. Is in like these woods here. It's a perfect environment for it to exist. Predominantly, it's going to be around trees and things like that. Poison oak is the same way. It creates a vine that could go anywhere. Really, to be honest with you, if you're in a wooded area or something close to that same environment, that's where you're going to find poison oak. A lot of people confuse Virginia creeper with poison ivy or poison oak. It has 5 leaves as opposed to the 3, and some people get that confused. I know I did as a child. I thought they were all poison ivy.
Be sure to know how to spot and protect yourself from poison ivy. This is Next to Nature. We'll see you next time.